I got Joe. Let me
Yo,
see.
I'm here.
Got Joe in that one, Joe in this one. All right. Hey, Dan, how's it going, man?
I'm good. As long as everybody can hear me, we're good.
Yeah, I got you. I got you there. I got you there. Perfect. All right. I know I already double-checked with Benny. And then, Phil, you look pretty good, too. So, all right. The only audio that I couldn't get to work was when everybody's big picture's up. The audio is not working. It's only working when we're all on the same scene together. I'm having trouble getting it to go across all of them. So let's see. Reset this to 130. And we'll get Phil off of there.
And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-90.
Yeah, remember Spice?
That was channel 50.
And APB, American
Hey everybody, we're going live. So and welcome to another edition of the 30, found here only on the Monty and the Pharaoh channel. And now what's going on, Dan? How's it going, man?
Hey, on the road. Oh, it's great. On the road, had a great holiday. Hope everyone had a great holiday, and still looking forward to winning that title back.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And next, we're going to bring in somebody who is no stranger to this channel. He is the president of Thursday Nights. He is the one and only Mr. President himself, Phil DeCesare.
I bring you peace. My peace I give you. Welcome, everybody. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we hope a Happy New Year.
Okay, and now the one and only, the player, Benny Scala. What's going on? That man needs no introduction there.
No introduction. Right out of Playville, currently in Minneapolis.
And then
hoping to be the first 5-time 30 champion.
And then, of course, we have the one and only, the 30 champion, the one and only, what a day, Joe Lowry.
You better believe it, folks. Happy holidays, everybody. What a Christmas it was for What a Day. Welcome to the show, everybody.
What a belt. If I win, you got to mail it to me.
I like that.
That's right. I want that belt.
We got to mail that thing back and forth. That is going to be the title.
The title right there, baby.
So yeah, hey guys, we come to the end of another wrestling year, and unfortunately Mike had to take the night off, but I think he just needed a little bit of rest. He's done this for 52 straight weeks. He deserves a night off. So Mike, this night's for you. Absolutely. We got this covered. So on that note, let's get on with it.
All right.
So first thing, this past week, Goldberg was on the Steve and Captain Evil podcast, and Goldberg called Mr. Vince McMahon a piece of shit, because back in the Judgment Day, or the Elimination Chamber in 2022, Goldberg did the job for Roman Reigns, and in return, Vince McMahon was supposed to give him a going out on top match, a retirement match, the right way. Unfortunately, that never unfolded. Do you guys think that Vince McMahon should be held accountable for this, or if he was in the wrong for doing this. And on that, let's go to Dan, and we'll get you on the 30 here. And ready and go.
No, this is ridiculous. In Goldberg's tenure, despite not deserving any of it, he's beaten The Fiend. He beat Kevin Owens. He's beat Brock Lesnar in 90 seconds. He's a multi-time champion. He's highlighted pay-per-views, killed pushes. He's done all kinds of stuff that any veteran could only dream of. To turn around and then call the person who made those decisions, because it wasn't Triple H given their history, to call him that. Yeah, I mean, look, he's not wrong. Vince McMahon is a piece of shit. I think the NDAs and history have proven that. But in this case, no. And also what irritated me was this idea. He's like, I have to go out on top the right way. As someone who studied enough wrestling history, doing the job on your way out the door is the right way. You put over a man who is now one of the, if not the biggest star in wrestling, and part of that came from his, the Battle of the Spears. He beat you all because what? You wanted to beat someone, and now, who? Who would you put over at the end? Like, whose career would you want to shorten? Whose match would you want to end? No. Goldberg is entirely wrong here. Vince, despite being a piece of shit, he's not right in this case. Like I said, 90 seconds over Lesnar, the elimination at the Rumble. He beat The Fiend, which killed that character. He beat Kevin Owens, which killed his push as Universal Champion. Goldberg is disgusting in this case. No, absolutely, he is wrong. Vince doesn't owe him a damn thing. If anything, Goldberg should be grateful he even got a chance to be in the ring with Roman Reigns, given the power that he has now as a contender.
Dan on fire again. Wow. Nice job, Dan. Nice job, Dan. Let me see where that's coming up on.
Let's tally the sheets.
You got Ernst & Young there, the accounting firm?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have Abe finishing this for me.
Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
Exactly.
That crack accounting firm.
Oh, it's not coming. Why is that?
It's Richard Hertz from Holden.
There you go.
For some reason it's written backwards, but it's Dan's got a 10 there. Let's see if we can reverse this.
Is that the Dukes of Hazzard car? 01.
I feel like I'm dyslexic. What is that?
I don't know how it's a 10, but there we go.
There you go.
I got one. Looks like I don't want to me. That's 10.
10. Nice job, Dan. Nice job. Well, let's see who we get the counter back up. And next we are going to have the president of Thursday nights, Phil. You are on.
Is it because I look like I'm in a pensive mood here, Bruce? I'm going second. Got my Rodin, the thinker, going on here. Tell me when, baby.
I'm trying to get it to a start here. Let's see. Come on.
Certainly.
Oh, hold on. Stop. And go.
Is Goldberg wrong? I don't know that he's wrong. We can all say what we want ultimately. And for the record, Bill Goldberg is probably one of the two nicest people in the business that I've ever met. Had the good fortune of meeting him on a few occasions, hanging out with him for a while, visiting his gym down in Georgia back in the day. And he's legitimately just a good dude, But, as far as business goes, I have to agree with Dan with respect to all the favors that were accorded to him, certainly not only in the ring, but also, let's not forget, his son Gage was very involved in some storylines and got some nice screen time as well. So, I think the family's been really honored and feted very well by Vince and the WWE. And I know that he had some problems with Hunter once upon a time, and they seem to have gelled over that. But, the question is, and I understand Goldberg's passionate about having a retirement match on a huge stage, but we really have to think who'd be an appropriate opponent for him, too. Does WWE have someone that would be appropriate for him? Would MJF from Elite, from AEW, maybe be a better opponent ultimately? I understand that some of their negotiations might have fallen through, too. It's not too late yet, but actually I just saw Goldberg at a baseball.
And that's time.
Goldberg's looking slim these days.
So let's transition. So how did Phil end up? Phil, not bad. Dan's still in the lead, but pretty good there. Well, next up,
Thank you.
we are going to have man who needs no introductions there, down in that bottom corner there, the player, Benny Scala. Let's get this timer back up. I don't know why the timer is not resetting. You guys, it's not coming up on the screen right now. I'm not sure why. But I'll let you.
We'll just have to give Benny a 0 for this round.
So here we go, and timer's gonna start. Go ahead, Benny.
I'm good.
You're good.
All right. I can't say anything, but all right. Well, to quote the great comedian George Carlin, you can prick your finger, but you can't finger your prick. So, having said that, is Vince McMahon a piece of shit? 100%, absolutely, positively. However, is Vince McMahon a piece of shit because of this? I would say absolutely not. I think Bill Goldberg has been very well treated. He's been very well paid. I mean, I think he's been paid far more than his talent warrants. And, like both Dan and Phil said, he's gotten his share of high-profile matches. He's gotten the championship back at 55 years old. His son got in the action. So, the only people who go out on top in this world are prostitutes. And not to say, or maybe the bottom, if you really think about it, but on the side, never mind. We won't get into that now. But it's not over yet either. I mean, we still have it could still happen. Like Phil said, maybe MGF comes in. Maybe Punk. Who knows? There's still time. So I think Goldberg, you've been very well paid. You've been very well treated, and maybe there is somebody next for you. But I think no. McMahon has been a piece of shit for a million different ways, but this was not one of them.
All right, Benny, your time's up there, and let's see how we ended up. Benny's number ended up going over to What A Day. Let me figure that one out. But Benny, looks like you got a 9. We'll figure that out on the next cut through. And so let's see. We got the only one person left for this round, and that's What A Day Joe. You ready there, Joe?
Well, I guess I'll be as ready as we all can be, right? Are you ready is the real question.
Yeah,
right
this is absolutely. This is a little more challenging today than I thought it would be. Pushing too many buttons. So
oh boy.
Let's get Joe ready. Joe is up in.
I don't see a clock, so I have no idea how much time I have.
I can't for some reason. I have the clock here, and I'm starting it, and it's just not showing. But go ahead, go.
All right, Goldberg trying to make headlines again, calling Vince McMahon a piece of shit. Is he looking for a quick payday? I don't know what's going on with this man, but let me tell you, his retirement match. It has to be Super Showdown 2019 with The Undertaker when you friggin' tombstoned him on his head and almost ruined The Undertaker and everybody else in between. I don't know. This seems like another type of attention-grabbing thing that Goldberg wants. I think I turned on the channel CBS or whatever the other day, and he speared some guy wearing a Tom Brady jersey in Atlanta during a college football game. I mean, come on. Goldberg is Goldberg. He's done his thing. He's wrestled. He's made millions of dollars. And, of course, he's been inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. What do you need a retirement match for? Nobody needs a retirement match after you've been into the Hall of Fame. This is absolutely crazy. For me, Goldberg, he did what WCW wanted him to do. He came in, did the 1,000 and whatever million undefeated streak and all that stuff. Total preposterous. The man had no wrestling background. He was a 2-minute guy at best. I mean, I'm not a great fan of Goldberg, but nonetheless, I think it's just a marketing ploy.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. And now I have 10 seconds.
That's why I was trying to give you a clue there.
I'll just say Super Showdown 2019 when he dropped Undertaker on his head trying to do his move. That's all we need to know about Goldberg.
All right. Nice job. Oh. So good, nice job on that. We got so coming out. We got the champ is in the lead still after the first round. Then we've got Dan, and then the player and the president tied. So as we come into the end of the year again, this gives us some opportunities to reflect back. we've seen multiple wrestlers start to break through. Some make some mistakes that maybe cost them some opportunities, while others we lost without ever getting to know what their true potential would ever be. In your opinion, which person, alive, dead, had the greatest impact on the industry of this past year, and why? And let's see, we've got Mr. President himself is going to be up. So let's get the minute 30 going, and Phil, you're on the 30.
I'm starting now? Okay. Well, boy, that's a tough question, Bruce, and, off the top of my head, I mean, I can think of a few people. I mean, in terms of ability, in terms of being underrated, I think Damian Priest is tremendous. Whether he had an impact, I don't know, a quiet impact, maybe. Beyond that, MJF, obviously, in terms of not only promos, but in terms of cross-promotion, he's everywhere. He's hobnobbing with WWE people. He's an executive producer with the Iron Claw, the movie. How do you do that, He had a very brief flashing role in that movie, too. He obviously has dominated AEW for a while now. He's tackled some controversial subjects, too. And he's another one of these guys who really embraces the role. I mean, and again, I harken back to his interactions when he was really, really a heel and how he would be rude and snub fans. And so, I mean, he's a guy who embraces it. I think the passion that he has is felt by everybody. He's someone who does definitely connect, I think, really through that screen. And so I might say he is, he's now the linchpin for AEW. I mean, he is the man there no matter what. He's the center of all the storylines. And deservedly so. So I would have to say he is. You'd think maybe it'd be a WWE guy, but I think
Phil,
he's
time is up.
Now. Okay.
Let's see how Phil ends up. Phil, 17. Phil's taking over the lead. Nice. So yeah, that's a tough question. There's not a lot of big points or good points you can get off on that. And so let's go over to the corner over there, and the player you are going to be on the 30. Let me just get this timer back. Even though you can't see it, I can. And Benny, you are on the 30.
Okay, so I want to start this with a question to you, Bruce. Bruce, do you like being the moderator of their 30?
No, not really.
It doesn't matter if you like being the moderator. All right, I needed to pause for about 10 seconds. This is a hard question. I'm running out of pauses here. Jeez, I need some help. Maybe some of you guys out there in the chat room can give me some ideas. But the most impactful person in the wrestling world this year, that's easy. That's CM Punk. No brainer. 100%. Guy, his termination was heard all over the wrestling world. We're still talking about his screw job, I think, from Tony Khan, because all he really did was he took care of business with Jack Perry the way that it should have been taken care of. And if there was a true leader in AEW, it would have came to that. If Tony Khan feared for his life with that whole altercation, I feel sorry. He must have got picked on in gym class. I think the trouble with Tony Khan started with his mother. She didn't breastfeed him. She just liked him as a friend. But he's still selling AEW merchandise. He comes to WWE, giant hoopla at Survivor Series. He's instantly into the main event. The limelight with Seth Rollins. We're talking about that guy.
All right, Benny, your time is up. Sorry, I got it. What I'll do is after this round, I'm gonna just let you guys know at like 20 seconds and then 10 seconds, so that at least you guys know. But Benny, you had a pretty good round. I gave you a couple bonus points for that for that Rock reference.
For the Rock, okay.
Let's see where we ended up. Oh, Benny's got 23. Ooh, nice job, Benny.
Wow.
So let's see. So this would put looks like Joe is up next. Let's get this minute 30 ready.
Yeah, hey, let me ask you. This has been like watching paint dry. What is the question again?
All right. So as we come to the end of the year, who made the biggest impact in wrestling and why? Is it was it somebody alive, dead?
Okay. So biggest impact on wrestling this year. Okay.
Yep.
All right, awesome.
Yep. Let me transition, get you on the page, and then you're on the 30. Go ahead, Joe.
All right, biggest impact on wrestling this year. I don't know. Wrestling was kind of, you got to think about it. Since WrestleMania up until CM Punk's return, wrestling was kind of stale, if you ask me. A lot of storylines were blah, blah, and AEW was so-so, and John Moxley was bleeding every week to the point that they're putting signs up in the stands now saying that John Moxley will bleed. That is a spoiler. My thing here is the biggest impact this year in wrestling. It's a no-brainer. It's the bloodline, the storyline, the WWE writers, whoever's in charge of that storyline was unbelievable. I mean, Michael Cole even said it. They should have got Academy Awards. I mean, Jimmy J. Uso, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, those backstage vignettes were unbelievable. It sucked you in every Friday night on SmackDown, and then they would go over on Raw a couple of times and, throw them a bone and all that stuff. But the biggest impact, it's not just one wrestler per se. I get what the player was saying about CM Punk. That was a great comeback, a great re-entry into the world of wrestling after what happened with AEW. But the biggest impact, we're all still talking about it. The bloodline, it's still going on. It's probably going to culminate at WrestleMania when The Rock comes back and does something to Roman Reigns to go ahead and end this storyline. So, you got the Cody Rhodes, you got all that stuff. To me, it's the bloodline, the storylines, the way it was written, the way they acted, the way they turned on each other. Solo Sikoa being thrown in there. It was an unbelievable time for SmackDown, which they're probably going to regret now because they're shopping that program up there. All right, I'm done.
How did we do? Oh,
Wow.
That's a nail biter.
What a round.
Come on, Dan. I got faith in you. You're going to be up. Let me just get this timer reset. And Dan, you are on the 30.
Yeah, I can't really disagree too much with some of that mentality of the bloodline. However, I'm going to side with Benny on this one and say the most influential single person in wrestling this year was CM Punk. Not only did his drawing power create the Collision show, which has fallen off a cliff with him being gone, but the storyline behind his firing to handling the fact that Omega and the Bucks are now gone from television, Omega indefinitely, and the Bucks come back when they feel like it. Jack Perry's still suspended. AEW has taken a nosedive, and a lot of that is casual fans, Punk fans, and even some hardcore AEW fans seeing that company is a joke, and Punk was the innocent victim there. Now, he wasn't perfect, but still, that his star power single-handedly changed the course of AEW. Then he comes back to the Royal Rumble, at Survivor Series, one of the biggest pops in history. He's now the #1 merch seller of the year for the WWE and AEW. Simultaneously, first person to ever do that. He shows up on Raw and SmackDown, pops some of the biggest numbers. They're already hyping the Rumble. And just this week, he had his first return match in 10 years, 16,000 sold out Madison Square Garden, standing room only. I mean, the fact that he is the biggest star in the world is just undeniable. His impact, even if he has another falling out in WWE, it'll be huge news. It'll change the course of the business. One guy, one person changed the course of both companies.
Nice job, Dan. Nice job. Let's see where this is going to come out at. Transition. Dan's got 21. This is going to be a close race.
Ooh.
Phil, we got to get a little bit of a comeback now.
You got to help me, Bruce.
So, awesome. Nice job, guys. Nice job. That was a fun one. Yeah, I would have to agree with you guys. I'd have to agree with...
We do all know the correct answer is Ric Flair launching Woo Energy, Wings, and Ric Flair Crypto all in the same year.
On every hotel room in America, it seems like. Every video I see, he's out somewhere in a hotel promoting that thing.
And I don't remember anyone else getting cut from television for asking all the girls over 18 to come into the ring with him.
Yeah, if you're between 18 and 30. Woo!
Space Mountain still open for business.
Oldest line, longest line.
Bring him some tapioca pudding, though.
Well, he's got to take the Viagra some way, right?
Right, yeah. Mush that pill up in that pudding.
So, all right, guys, nice job on that last round. So, let's see. So, listen, WWE superstars that were released back in September are now free agents. There's some major names out there, and they're all available. Who do you think will have the biggest impact, where, and why? And we're going to have the player up on the 30 this time first. And, Benny, whenever you're ready, we're going to put you on the 30. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to be like Lance Storm, if I can be serious here for a moment. There's a lot of good talent. You got Dolph Ziggler, you got Shelton Benjamin, you got Riddle, but none of these guys are needle movers, I don't think. If they were that good, they would have been kept. If they were making money, I'm gonna count them by trade. If what they were paying them was exceeded by the revenue that they were bringing in, then they would still be there. So obviously they're not huge draws. I would say the one with the most potential, just because of the off the field drama, is Riddle. I do, in spite of the fact I think he's a schmuck and he's an idiot, I do think he's a hell of a worker. I think he's a very talented guy. I think if he got a craniorectoscopy done, and that's a surgical procedure where your head is removed from your ass. If he could get that done, I think he could hook on with an AEW, or a TNA, and be at a high level. Dolph Ziggler, very talented guy, but come on, what's he going to do? So they'll hire him at AEW, work with his brother. It'll be a nice story, but he's not going to make a huge impact. Shelton Benjamin, God love Shelton Benjamin.
That is time.
All right.
So yeah, that's a tough one there, and let's see where you ended up here, Benny. And all right, well, it's still in the lead. It's a tough one though, tight one. So let's see, what do we have next? We have Joe. It looks like Joe, you're going to be up next. Let's get this timer reset. And Joe, you are on the 30.
Okay, for some reason I had this question in my mind already, and I put notes out from last week. So I'm going to go down the list real quick. Mustafa Ali, probably Ring of Honor via AEW. Aliyah, maybe AEW. Shelton Benjamin, WWE is going to rehire him as a producer. His in-ring profession, I think, is probably over. Rick Boogs, probably TNA. Dana Brooke, I'd say TNA, but more or less OnlyFans TNA about that one. Dabakato, probably repackage him as the Nigerian Polish descent. Quite a combination, by the way. Whoever heard of a wrestler from Nigeria and Poland? Unbelievable. Elias, all bets are TNA and AEW, but he's got such a musical career. I would say he's going to probably cut an album. Quincy Elliott, the Super Diva, was let go while on the injured list. She's still out. I have no idea where she's going to go. Yulisa Leon, most likely Mexico. Mace and Mansoor reunite as the M&M tag team. Riddick Moss, I think, will go back with Tennille Dashwood to TNA. Matt Riddle, Major League Wrestling, and probably every other indie show he can think of. Shanky back to India. Top Dollar, AEW with Hit Row, resurrected in the AEW in some form or another. And, of course, Dolph Ziggler will probably end up in AEW because his brother Zach is with him as well. Other than that, I don't know, folks. I think one of these people is probably going to be under the mask that will be revealed this Saturday at World's End, or whatever that pay-per-view is called with AEW this Saturday, because quite frankly, what I saw last night on Dynamite was just nothing but a shortcut to lower the fans' expectations with
All
Samoa
right, that's
Joe.
time. Wow,
go.
Joe, great job. You nailed everything. I don't think you didn't get anybody's career, anybody's future. Nice job. Whew, big round. So let's see. Next, Dan. It looks like Dan's going to be up next. Let's get him.
I have one.
Let's see. Dan, we're going to get you on the 30, and the timer is set, and you are ready. Go.
I didn't realize Joe was going to run for office because he just talked for 90 seconds and said absolutely nothing. And I don't mean that as a criticism to him. I mean, think about it. He broke down every single name on that list, and not a single one of them is going to move a needle, move an inch, or cause anybody to care about anything. I've seen Matt Riddle being advertised in Maryland, MLW, and other places. No one cares. No ticket spikes where he is waving the belt in the background. But, I just recently saw OSW reviews on YouTube had a commercial starring the former Mansois and Massey. And I mean, when you're doing YouTube commercials for reviewers, don't get me wrong, OSW, great stuff. Where are you going to go? Even if Dolph Ziggler ends up in AEW, he's not going to move anybody. The fact is, there is no one on that list that is going to end up anywhere that's going to change the game in any way. You've got too many big stars, too much talent. Now, I did notice Joe mentioned Elias, but he didn't mention Ezekiel. I see Ezekiel getting rehired by WWE, perhaps a surprise return at the Rumble. But other than that, there is nobody on that list that's going to move a needle an inch or a rating bump in any way. And if any of them end up under that devil's mask, it'll actually end up being worse than I think that this black scorpion crap that they're building up to is going to end up being. But no, to answer your question, who's going to make the biggest impact? The answer is no one. Zip, zilch, nada, zero. To take it to the bank, as they would say.
All right,
I would make a Yankees
time.
reference, but no.
Let's see. Nice job, Dad. Nice job. You got a couple bonus points there for picking on Joe. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, nice. But you didn't catch him, though. You didn't catch him.
Wow.
So, well,
Dan did pretty good. I thought he did great.
He did do great.
Yeah.
He did great. So, next up, we've got the president of Thursday nights. He's going to come from behind. Let's see if he can.
Not like Pat Patterson, but I will help him. Or SD.
And so, Phil, you are on the 30. Go ahead, my friend.
You know, it's interesting. We're familiar with all those names on the list. And, I agree. A lot of names there, maybe not highly impactful names. Maybe they just haven't found the right situation yet, the right environment. But one name that I didn't see on the list, didn't hear about, and as far as I know, is still available and is a woman without a country right now. And she moves more than the needle with me, I'll tell you. Her name is Sasha Banks. And I don't think she was mentioned, but quite frankly, she is no doubt the hottest commodity out there right now. We look at the landscapes in the women's division in both organizations, and Charlotte's out now with an injury, and I think she's going to be out for 9 months or so. And lately these injuries have been mounting, and I think of mounting when I think of Sasha, but in both companies, and yeah, I'm stealing your humor there, my friend. But she's great, isn't she? She's athletic. She looks incredible. Love the two-tone hair. She's just, she's missing in action. I mean, there should be a war to get this woman back in the ranks, and I think whomever gets her is going to do very well. So I think she'll be the most impactful free agent wherever she may land. I know where I'd like her to land, but as Gorilla Monsoon would say, that's highly unlikely. Yeah.
Nice job, Phil. Nice. Let's see where he ended
Banks
up.
was actually just in Boston for the house show
saw.
last night, right?
Yes.
As Gorilla Monsoon would also say, will you stop?
You went
Good
one
job,
to the well
guys.
too many times.
I think I did.
So
Good round.
after,
That was great.
yeah, that was fun. So after this round is our first elimination round. So you guys better get some points up on the board. It's a pretty close race. You guys got to catch that champ though. He's moving ahead a little bit. So
Not by much.
no, it's a close one.
Gotta love Bruce, though. He's doing it all tonight. He's doing a great job, everybody. Let's give him some love, huh?
Well,
Let's give him some love out
attempting.
there.
Attempting. It's it is a little bit of a challenge back here. I appreciate the support, guys, because what a day. You produce your own shows. It's a challenge trying to get through all these screens and figure out what's coming up next.
Yeah.
So
3 roles all at once. It's crazy. Yeah.
so awesome. So listen. So this one kind of piggybacks off of the last one. Or the first one. Many wrestlers were expected to move the needle this past year, but somehow they kind of fizzled out. Which wrestler had the worst year? Why? And is there hopes for a rebound in the next year? Ooh. Joe, you are on the 30, and go ahead.
My God. I'm going to have to dig the tunnels for this one. Who had the worst? I would have to. I'm really dumbfounded by this one. There's a lot of wrestlers out there that didn't really move the needle, did everything or fizzled out, and half of them were released by the WWE back in September. But I want to say the one wrestler who did not move the needle like expected, and you're probably all going to kill me for this, is and I'm going with my gut, the way the needle needed to be moved was Cody Rhodes. And I hate to say that. I hate to say the Nightmare Cody Rhodes. His build up to WrestleMania the year before, and then he got hurt, and then the Hell in the Cell match, and the time off and everything, and then he came back, and it was the Brock Lesnar fiasco all over again. Fizzle. Enter Seth Rollins, enter the Bloodline and Roman Reigns, enter everybody else, and then you got to cap it all off with CM Punk and Randy Orton all coming back. And Cody Rhodes is right there at the Premium Live Events post conferences saying, oh, it's great. It's all about business and all that stuff. He is the one that probably fizzled out. And I say that because he's the guy that comes out every week and he's getting sidetracked. I don't know if it's the writing with this or what it is, but he needs to, I want to hate to say, he's going to have to repackage himself in some way. And do I dare even say he's going to have to turn heel? I don't see this going anywhere else. But him to finish the story, we talked about it last week. It wasn't until 2026 he won't finish the story. So, yeah, disappointing, fizzled out. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare.
Let's see where we ended up. Ooh, Joe's he's got a good lead there, guys. Let's see.
Does that say 50?
That says 50. Nice
job.
Lord.
I can't quite see that number. Is it still lower than my record? I don't remember.
It is.
Okay.
Oh, wait, you weren't there last week, Dan. 107, baby.
Somehow something happened to my camera midway through my show.
I think Mike's camera got stuck last week, though.
You got frozen in time.
So we got up next. Oh, it looks like Dan's gonna be up on 30 next. So let's get him up here. And Dan, you are on the 30. Go ahead, my friend.
All right, I'm going to change course a little bit. I will agree with Joe that Cody losing at Mania was probably the biggest lost opportunity and definitely derailed what momentum he had. But he's still soaring merchandise sales. He's still popping numbers. They still have a chance to put him in the spot at Mania to win something huge. I'm going to change it up and say the biggest fizzle this year in wrestling is actually not a wrestler. It's a person behind the scenes. The biggest disappointment this year in wrestling is Tony Khan. He has proved this year beyond a shadow of a doubt he cannot run a company. He cannot book a cohesive script. He's more interested in being friends than actually doing his job. I mean, you have the story of how he botched the CM Punk firing, and now the leaks with the NDAs over the fight. I mean, every step of the way, AEW is trying to cover their tracks. They're not making the right decisions. Bryan Danielson is on the committee that assesses fines and punishments. Chris Jericho just got into a an X feud with Stephen P. New, Christmas morning. Like, every step of the way, that company is falling apart at the seams. You've ruined the biggest star you had in MJF, because even the numbers now, no one cares. How do you have MJF and a Samoa Joe feud and no one cares? This devil gimmick is going to fizzle. There is no one under that mask that is going to matter, that is going to save anything. You have the lowest attendance and the lowest ticket sales and the lowest pay-per-view revenue and the lowest merch sales in the company history. Your number one merch seller doesn't even work there anymore.
And that's time.
Waste.
Nice job. Wow. Let's find out.
Oh! What? Oh, man.
Ooh. I think he stole a couple things from you. I think that's why he got the points there. So let's see. Let's see. So next up, we've got Phil coming up. Let me just get your timer ready.
Ready for blast off.
And go ahead, Phil. You're on the 30.
I agree with both those guys. Well, not so much with the Tony Khan, Dan, because I'm still thankful he brings us an alternative, and I know we certainly disagree with the alternative, some of us. And I definitely would go Cody Rhodes, and I knew you were going there, Joe. So I'm just going to have to go in a different direction. I can't say you said it well. Totally agree with that. But, as far as someone who's reached the upper echelon and, we could argue has fizzled would be someone who's a favorite of mine, Finn Balor. Okay, we're talking about the first Universal Heavyweight Champion. Okay, a darling of the Indies. He made his debut. His first appearances, as we know, were in Boston, right, with Sheldon Goldberg. He brought him over, so we have an affinity for him. But again, lost in the shuffle. Yes, he's had a tag team championship. Yes, he is part of this wonderful faction here that's gained a lot of popularity in the process. And I'd argue that he's being lost in the shuffle there too, certainly to Damian Priest in many respects, certainly to Dominic, certainly to Rhea Ripley. And he better get the hell out of there before old JD overshadows him. This guy is money in the ring. He still is a phenom, and he's still young, and I think he needs another run with the title. So I'd say he's kind of fizzling right now, being lost with the within the confines
and
of
that
this.
is time.
Harper group. Okay.
Nice job, Phil. Let's see what.
Yeah.
Put them back together and all that stuff, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, so let's not. So it's going to be coming down to it looks like Benny or Mr. President himself are going to go home. So Benny, it's going to be up to you.
Uh-oh.
It's definitely an attainable number. Oh.
The long hairs are getting the boot.
The older guys, no fair. Tell me when.
I will. I'm just getting your timer ready, and you're on the 30.
All right, I got a kind of bar from a couple of the other guys, but I'm going to say there's a three-way tie. First one is Tony Khan. Tony Khan could not find his asshole with Funnel and Google Maps. The guy loses. I got to get points for that. Come on. The guy loses $34 million this year. $34 million. And I don't think the outlook's very good for 2024 because I don't think he's going to get a new TV deal. Or if he does, it's going to be like TV Land or something like that, opposite the Waltons. The other one is like I think Blue Dan said, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is going to be like Lou Gehrig. Lou Gehrig, great ball player, always second fiddle. First to Babe Ruth, then Babe Ruth retires. Cody Rhodes is now his own man. But who comes to the Yankees but Joe DiMaggio? So he was just destined to be the number 2 guy. Just great wrestler. Just even keel. I mean, popular, but not sizzling right now. Last one, and this has been a couple year decline, is Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow, because this woman was virtually unbeatable in NXT. She was the champion, I think, for 2.5 years, undefeated. Comes to WWE, wins championships. But before you know it, she's jobbing to Carmella. Come on, and Alexa Bliss, please. So I just, given what this woman is, I think this woman is an amazing talent.
That is time. All right, let's see what's going to go on here. So let's see what happens when it. Uh-oh. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, Mr. President.
What? Fitchburg Bone? Really? Come on.
There's a reason why I save my salad, why I don't eat the whole supper before the broadcast. I race home, I have the supper, I wait for the salad. It's something to look forward to. Maybe some butter in the rolls, maybe a little holiday fudge,
But there's always dessert. There's always dessert.
All right. Hey, Phil, it's always a pleasure. I will talk to you. We'll see you in a little bit on the other show.
Sounds good. Great job, man, and great job, man.
See you,
right.
Okay, brother.
Bye.
Dun, dun, dun,
There
dun.
goes Phil. All right. So it's down to you 3. Benny got a little bit of work to do, but I got faith. I definitely have faith that you can pull this off.
That's what she said.
This title is up for grabs.
So let's see.
Forward to my shipping address when the show's over.
We frequently talk on the channel about the many superstars that are left out of the Hall of Fame, including Demolition, the Masked Superstar, Ivan Koloff, and more. Who do you think will be inducted this year, and who do you think may get snubbed? So let's see who's going to be. It looks like, Dan, it looks like you're going to be up. And let me get your in here, get your timer set. And Dan, you are on the 30.
All right, well, I think we're going to stick with some of the usual snubs. They're Demolition, Dominic DeNucci, Ivan Koloff, big names like that. We'll stay away from it. Although I did see the story that Triple H is now entirely in charge of the Hall of Fame and Vince has no input. So some of the guys that should be in there but aren't because Vince is a petty POS, they definitely might sneak through. However, I think some of the obvious choices, Bray Wyatt will definitely have to be considered. And some of the names that have come through or recently retired, I wouldn't be surprised to see. Excuse me, I wouldn't be surprised to see someone. Go ahead. Oh, thank you. I wouldn't be surprised to see someone like a Kane or another tag team coming through, someone who you would never think of. And then you've also got the celebrity side. Obviously, with recent pushes, you can't do a Logan Paul or a Bad Bunny. They're still active. But you got to go to the side celebrities that have had involvements. Maybe, I don't know, reinduct Kid Rock or something. Where's Mr. T needs to be inducted as a team. But since they love doing the double dipping now with the multiple inductions, I foresee at least one of those. There's going to be a double induction. You're going to have a stable. I mean, they already did DX and the NWO and the Horsemen, and now you're going to have to start looking at something like like what they did with Evolution. I could see someone like that coming through. It's just it's going to be hard to tell because Triple H is going to be so different.
Ooh, nice job. Let's see where he ended up. It's going to be I think that's going to be a tough one to catch there. And 62. Nice job.
Dang.
Nice job.
Ruh-roh.
Benny's going to have a lot of work ahead of him here. Benny, I got faith in you, though. If anybody can do it, you can.
Tell me Quando.
Let me get your timer set. And you are on the 30.
All right. Well, and I'm going to be very serious here, and I'm going to give this answer. And I don't even care if it doesn't give me enough points to get into the finals because this is something I need to say. And I'm going to dedicate this answer to Renee Koloff, who is my good friend and is the widow of Ivan Koloff. And if to me, first of all, the Hall of Fame exists in Vince McMahon's mind only. What are you being inducted into? There's no building. There's a ceremony, but it's all this is an acknowledgement from Vince McMahon. Well, now it's an acknowledgement from the WWE, but until they actually have a building. But to exclude a gentleman like Ivan Koloff, who, in my mind, scored the most significant victory in the history of professional wrestling on January 18th, 1971, when he pinned Bruno Sammartino in the middle of the ring in front of a sold-out crowd at Madison Square Garden, to the point where Bruno thought he had hearing loss because the crowd was so silent that they were shocked that this man, their hero, lost the title, to the point where, after Bruno realized he didn't lose his hearing, he heard people sobbing. But this is Ivan Koloff. This is what he did. And if that was all he did, I think on that alone he deserves induction. But the man had an epic career. He was the IWA version, the Montreal version of the World Heavyweight Championship. He was the WWA in Indianapolis.
That is time. Let's see. All right. Well, it's enough to keep you alive for now, Benny. But let's see if Joe can pull this off. Unless can you pull some of your shenanigans out on him? Maybe you that might be your only chances yet.
Nah. No, Joe. No,
I gotta go into the wheelhouse on this one, but we'll see what we come up with.
Let's see, Joe, get up here.
This is tough.
And Joe, you are on the 30.
All right, first off, who's going to go into the WWE Hall of Fame this year? I hope to God Triple H does things right, and he announces the class, hopefully not a week before WrestleMania like last year. So first off, I already see it. Bray Wyatt going into the WWE Hall of Fame, and he's probably going to go in with Brody Lee, a.k.a. Luke Harper, and he will be inducted into the Hall of Fame by Eric Rowan and Braun Strowman. I can see it happening. Another far-out possibility he might go in there, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. No longer part of the WWE, so to speak. He would be a perfect person to go into the Hall of Fame. Ivan Koloff always should be in there as well. Let's all talk about the elephant in the room and so forth. He's been hounded on this since 2019. Has to be Chyna. Chyna has to get into the WWE Hall of Fame posthumously. She was inducted with D-Generation X, but she needs her own plaque into the Hall of Fame because she has transformed women's wrestling into what it is today. We all know that. Now, the two people that I missed that should be in there, and I've said it every week since I've been on here, Tony Garea and Rick Martel. Tony Garea, 5-time tag team champion with the WWF, 5 different partners not involved at all. Rick Martel, former AWA heavyweight champion and tag team partner twice, title holder. He's not in the Hall of Fame. Why? It's all about politics. But who's going to be in it? I can tell you right now, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and of course, Batista will probably be your solid 3. And I'm hoping for Chyna to get in there as well because let's face it, she deserves it.
So let's see if Benny held out. No, Benny. Benny, I'm sorry to see you go.
That's all right.
We love you.
I got my piece on Ivan Koloff.
Ivan Koloff to be in the Hall of Fame. And there's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
No brainer.
So, all right. So let's see. We got to get rid of Benny. Sorry, Benny. Later.
See you in 20. 2-2.
All right. So now we got to reset these scores. For this final round. That
looks about right.
Oh, he's talking crap already.
What?
All right. Awesome job tonight, guys. There we go. Yeah, possession is 9/10 of the law right now, isn't it? All right. So listen. So both AEW and WWE attained new heights this past year with AEW's successes both here and overseas, and WWE's record-breaking after record-breaking premium live events, as well as moving to the next level of promotion and production by joining with Endeavor to create TKO. Although it seems saturated, wrestling seems to be at its healthiest point in the past 20 years. What major angles or shakeups would you like to see and would you expect to see over the next year? And let's start with, we're going to go over to the challenger, Dan. I'm going to put you on the 30, and that would be an hour 30. That's not the one. And Dan.
I can talk that long.
And go, Dan.
All right. Well, first off, we'll start. You mentioned AEW. I'm going to disagree with you on their record heights outside of Wembley. They are at some of the lowest ticket sales, box office revenue, merchandise sales, and just money in general that they've ever been as a company. I mean, recently, several high-profile people, have left the company, including their head of merchandise. And it's so no, I don't think they're doing well. I think AEW, the only way to save their face right now is to nail, out of the park home run, the devil reveal, which I don't think they'll do, but that's the big angle they've got to build around. And then the feud of whoever is under that devil mask feuding with MJF. On the flip side, WWE, you've got the end of Roman Reigns' streak. If he keeps the belt through September, he's going to break Hulk Hogan's run. So you've got to build that up or have somebody come in to finally break that streak. And on the other side of their main event scene, you've got CM Punk, whoever he goes against, be it Seth Rollins, be it Roman Reigns, be it Cody, be it whoever. You've got the biggest star in wrestling today getting ready to headline or at least be one of your co-main eventers at WrestleMania. That's going to be a huge year. The other thing you got to watch out for is the announcements of the TV deals. WWE's got 2 new ones coming up. AEW's got a new one hopefully coming up. But no, the big angles AEW's got is the devil, and WWE's got their road to WrestleMania, as they call it. The Royal Rumble, which I will say is probably the biggest, best, and most exciting Royal Rumble they have had in years.
Nice job, Dan. Let's see how we ended up. All right. That's a good number. It's I've been a little tight with giving them out tonight, so that's a good job, Dan. Wow. That's one of the best numbers. But the only person who had a higher number than that tonight is the guy on the other side here, and that's Joe. So let's get Joe up.
I haven't gone yet. Come on. This
Well,
is
you
a
had
tough
that-
one.
Yeah, you had that. I think you had 14 or 15 in an earlier round. So let's see how you do on
Problem.
on this one. So this is for all the marbles. And Joe, you are on the 30.
All right, if this chapter was to be written today, right now, stone cold right now, and I hate to say it, that AEW is probably most likely dead in the water. Why? Because after they sold out Wembley Stadium and sold 81,000 tickets and put on a great show, what did they do the next day? They're promoting the show for next year. That's desperation, folks. My biggest thing here, as Dan said, was the Bloodline and Roman Reigns and The Rock and CM Punk and all that stuff. What I'd probably tell you is that CM Punk will eventually turn into CM Punk. Reason being, he came back way too spiffy clean, all that good stuff, all that stuff. Now I'm seeing videos of him outside Madison Square Garden. He's getting tokens of appreciation. He's getting stopped by fans. He's waving all that stuff. When will CM Punk turn into the real CM Punk? Only time will tell, and it will happen, no doubt about it. But the biggest thing I'm looking forward to, and it's going to happen because it's probably the biggest thing in wrestling right now, the UFC and WWE merger. Crossover. Before now, whenever, I don't know when it's going to happen, but you're going to see it happen. Las Vegas is going to be the UFC, WWE capital of the world because you're going to see Conor McGregor on one side, Roman Reigns on the other, CM Punk on one side. And do I dare even say that Jake Hager even tries to come back and gets back in the ring with maybe CM Punk? Who knows? But I see that as the biggest storyline. Everything else, we know what's going to happen. The bloodline's going to implode. But I'm looking forward to UFC, WWE getting together.
And that
the
is
PR
time.
departments are already dropping the stuff. So that's what I think.
So I think this was.
Merging with UFC, they risk a brawl for all situation.
And we have a new champion, Dan Sebastiano. Nice job, Dan. Way to go.
Dan comes back. What?
Sending you I'm gonna send you my address. I expect that overnight postage.
We gotta say goodbye to Joe here. So
this is horse manure. I'll be back, Dan. I'm coming back for you. There's no doubt about it.
Later, Joe. Dan, nice job tonight. Nice job. Can't wait to see you defend that title next week.
What a comeback.
So, thanks for dealing with me with some of those little technical issues. And, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see you next week when Dan will be back to defend his title. Later, guys.
Take care, Bruce. Thanks.